Now, back in Somerset, James is taking a brief break from shopping in the historic county town of Taunton, where he's come to learn about the British agency which supplies the world's mariners with charts of the ocean in the company of its chief archivist.
Hello, James Braxton.
Hello, Adrian Webb. Welcome to the Hydrographic Office archive.
Oh, I've been dying to look at some charts.
Me too.
Welcome to the archive. James
James is getting a peek at one of the most complete maritime collections with charts, surveys and journals by some of our greatest explorers.
We've been in existence since 1795, when we were established by King George III. Our first hydrographer, Alexander Dalrymple, he spent 5 years sorting through all of the charts and old surveys and atlases that he could find and put together our archive. There's thousands of charts and surveys going back to the 1620s.
Dalrymple's task was to review the difficulties and dangers facing His Majesty's fleet, because the Admiralty had reached the conclusion that British ships were more likely to be lost from poor charts than from attacks by enemy vessels.
Here we are. This is the oldest item in our collection. This is the chart from the reign of King James I.
Wow.
The period when the Pilgrim Fathers were heading off for the New World.
Was this produced by the Admiralty?
No, this is from a time when charting was very much a private affair, and you'll probably notice one or two features on here that are similar to items that we put on charts today. We have a compass to point you in the right direction.
Right.
And also we have some depths here in the river.
Fathoms.
And of course we have a very nice detailed scale.
So you get some indicators that makes this a chart rather than a map. Wow.
The first government-sponsored hydrographic survey of Britain in 1681 was the work of naval officer Captain Grenville Collins, a task which involved a royal yacht, a crew of 21 men and instruments like a measuring chain, compass and lead line.
So their charting, safe passage around the British Isles, all cargoes, everything went by sea, didn't it?
Oh, certainly the bulk cargoes did, yes,
Yeah.
indeed. And the whole purpose of these particular surveys was to make sure that there were less losses, and it's testament to Collins' work that his atlas actually stayed in print for 100 years.
Several of the charting innovations that followed over the years were associated with British explorers, like Captain James Cook, who mapped the waters of the Pacific, and the modern UK Hydrographic Office, which maintains that tradition using state-of-the-art multi-beam echo-sounding surveys and satellite images to keep mariners safe, with men such as Rear Admiral Tim Lowe.
The mariner has all these fabulous electronic aids now, like us in our cars, sat-nav and everything. But before, it was done with the stars, wasn't it?
Absolutely. And we still provide a service for the mariner today if he wants to continue to use the old traditional methods. But we're getting into digitisation. And the data that's coming in now, we're looking at terabytes of data as opposed to single data points that used to come in.
Now, I know that the Navy's flagship vessel made a historic journey. Were you involved in that recently?
Very much so. HMS Queen Elizabeth had to come down from Rosyth in Scotland, and those waters were not surveyed to modern standards. So a combination of the Royal Navy surveying teams and our own cartographers and geodesists here helped develop the new charts and products to actually get her out of Rosyth and then, more importantly, into her new home in Portsmouth Harbour. They had to do a massive amount of infrastructure change to actually allow her to get into the harbour. They had to dredge quite a lot of the water approach channel to actually allow her room to manoeuvre. Portsmouth Harbour's a large area, so there's always going to be things there, and the seabed can change, so we'll have to keep going back, we'll have to keep checking.
400 years since the first chart, the work goes on.